Hi, and welcome to It's Not So Lonely at the Top podcast. This podcast is there for leaders and business owners like you. If you want an ongoing dose of personal and professional development, this podcast is for you. I'm here for you to get insights and learning from the very best in the industry. So please do make sure you subscribe, and I look forward to sharing today's podcast with you. Today, I'm joined by Mr. Ian Bridgestock from Geek Designs. How exciting.
Yeah.
How exciting. So for those that are listening, this is actually take 2 because we've been trialing some new equipment and we're making it work. But that means it's going to be the second time round, even better, bigger, better.
Yeah.
More worthy than before.
Yeah, repent for my sins from last time. The podcast weren't long last time.
Yeah.
What I was saying,
Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. So, Ian, welcome to today's podcast. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you join me. So thank you very much. And could you just tell the listeners a bit about who Ian Bridgestock is? And let's start with Ian Bridgestock first and then Geek Designs, because they're two different entities, mate.
Yeah, so Ian Bridgestock, who is he? It depends who you ask, really.
Well, that's a good question.
It is a good question. Some people say that I'm Marmite. So I'm a very opinionated person. It can be, but it comes from the heart where I care about someone or about a business or an activity, what I'm doing. So yeah, I often come across something like that. But I always say to people, so when I'm silent, that's when you want to worry a bit.
Silent assassin.
Yeah, so when I'm silent, it said there's an underlying opinion that I have, but I don't want to give it to you because I'm trying to protect you at the same time. But yeah, I have a filtration problem. But yeah, Ian Bridgestock himself is quite a self-driven, self-motivated person.
Nice.
And loyal.
Very good.
Yeah,
very good, mate. And tell me about your business journey. So you're co-founder of Geek in Peterborough.
Yeah, we're co-founder with Alex.
So tell me a bit about Geek.
Yeah, so when Geek started in 2013, I think, 13. Yeah.
12 years?
Yeah, 12 years, it would be, 12 years now. Yeah, so, my business partner, Alex, he worked for, I think it was Shaman's or Trespass at the time. So he went to Stanford College nearby, Peterborough, and he was studying web design development, something like that. I remember he was telling me, and I was like, okay. And I remember going around.
He was telling me. I was bored.
Yeah. I was like, oh, what are you doing? So I went round to his flat one day, and I was just like, what are you doing there? He goes, I'm building websites. I'm like, I didn't know you could do that. He goes, yeah, I've told you this. And I was like, who are you doing it for? And he goes, oh, my auntie's got a few businesses out in Central America for a restaurant and yada travel. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, well, so you can build websites then? He goes, yeah. And I went, okay. At the time, I was running a bar in the city centre called Sports Lounge.
So is that your first business?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
Let's keep with Geek and then I'll go back and ask that,
So we got into, then I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, oh, I got an idea. I reckon we can sell some of these websites, So I used to sit in the bar during the day and with the Thompson Local ringing businesses.
Nice.
Can I speak to somebody who deals with your web presence, please? Oh, no, we need a website. Fantastic. Do you want one for £350?
Woo! I wish that's all you charged me.
That's wages, more than that now. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's where we started off. And I think
£350 websites.
Yeah. In the first year, I think we've done 75, and I always remember that in the first month or so with Alex, I was like, I've got 2 websites in this week. He goes, oh my God. He goes, stop selling. I was like, I beg your pardon? He goes, I can't manage it. I can't what 2 websites.
So did you two think you were going to retire? I worked that out to be about 25 grand off 75 websites. Or just under 25 grand. Did you guys think you were retiring?
That's what I mean. And it was like at the beginning, because Alex left his job and I still had the bar with an income, and I had my partner as well who was supporting me during that time. So there was an income coming in. It wasn't great, but there was something there where Alex left his job and had nothing. So it was the priority of him. He goes, what do you need? He goes, I need a minimum of £1,000 a month so I can pay my rent and just survive.
Yeah, cool.
And for the first few months, I think 4 or 5 months, I didn't take anything. And I think it was coming for a year or so. I was on about 500 quid a month.
Nice.
Geek.
Yeah.
So we was always investing in the business.
Sure.
So yeah, that's how Geek sort of started. And along that is the education route. Then we start. I'm very much self-taught. I always want to learn. I like looking into detail, analytical detail. Sometimes I get too involved with projects, and I always know when I sort of when we work with corporate, sometimes they say to me, "Go, yeah, but it's not for you to worry about, is it?" And I was like, "No, but I care.
Cool.
No, but I care, right?"
So 12 years later, where's Geek now?
So Geek now,
and what do you do and that sort of stuff?
So Geek now. So obviously throughout the years, growing as a business, started to get a reputation, mainly good. So we went from.
That's always good.
We got obviously went from we got a first designer in, went from developing, then we started hiring marketers. Then as the business is slowly we never accelerated the business. So when there's downtimes like COVID, we're thinking, oh my God, we're going to lose everything. We're always sustainable of where we're going forward. And because we're quite a small team, there's 10 of us, we're quite a powerful team. So that's what sort of Geek's buying into now. So it's design, development, marketing. We're sort of a powerful team now. So we're more involved with the client than a number. We can go to. You see a lot of ads at the moment where it's going, we can get you leads, we can get you this, or if you're an agency lacking leads, we can. Yeah, it's not sort of the way we roll. We're looking to build a longer lasting relationship.
Sure, So that's over. It's an ongoing partnership.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's what we're looking for.
Okay, cool. So let's go back to your first business then. So before Geek, 12 years ago, what was it you were doing?
So I was for the first business. I opened up a bar in the city centre with my business partner Simon at the time. It was one of those. Beforehand, I was working at Booker's Cash and Carry. Nice. Before that, I was in retail for a bit, then went into sales. But by the time I got to Jesus Christ, now 25. I was quite burnt out. From age 18. I was in management straight away. I was running sort of retail stores that are turning millions a year, 35 members of staff, and I was 18. I look back at it now, I was thinking, what the hell were they doing?
Sure.
What the hell were they doing? They must have think something. Don't know what it was. But so it was always so I had to take a bit of time out. So I thought, all I want to do is stack shelves. Right. That's all I want to do. Yeah. I just needed to take a bit of time out for myself. I was getting a bit stressed out. And so then there was an opportunity come up where there was a small little unit down in King Street in the city centre.
So it's just off Cowgate, isn't it? In Peterborough,
yeah, it's just off Cowgate.
And I remember going in there. Once or twice actually to watch football. So it wasn't a sports bar originally. You made it into a sports bar, yeah. So you went through the whole process of getting an alcohol license and all that, and having to pay ridiculous amounts of money to Sky, no doubt, for licensing.
For that small venue, it was horrendous. It was horrendous.
I can imagine.
It was you're in your thousands a month.
Okay.
It's horrendous, yeah.
So I think what I'm really interested in, or I think the listeners will be interested in, is what were your learnings from that? Because you're not doing it anymore. Do you see that as a failed business, or do you see it as like you moved on to something better? Like how have you sort of framed that in your head?
So since time's gone on, I sort of look at it, and at the time I was devastated.
Okay, so it did matter to you at the time.
I was devastated. I remember the day that it was just like the point of no return, really, on that, and I was just it was just like, okay, I need to pick myself up here. Okay. Like, what do I do? So, but there was a lot of learning curve now. So it's a learning curve that people who you're around. People that you can trust. There was a lot to learn from that, and massively. And I think even my wife says to this day, and it's not so long ago, she goes, you learn a lot from that, and you passed it, and you learn from your mistakes and where you went wrong, and because obviously when you start something up like that, it's all well and good, and everybody remembers the good times. There was that 40th birthday party a couple of weeks ago, and everybody's going, oh, I missed the bar, I missed this, I missed doing that. One young lady, Jess, she was like, I missed the bar because I remember I used to stick my head under the beer tap and when you used to have parties there, I was like, yeah, I bloody remember that. You never used to pay for it either. So, yeah. But nice. She met her husband in the bar there. So, they're still happily married and that. But, yeah, so it was good. But I learned a lot in business from that. I learned a lot from that, what to do, who not to trust, how to take control of certain situations. And it was sometimes like, don't rely too. You've got to build a team around you who you trust. And there's that, as a business owner, it's relying on the people because you're investing in them. So it's like, how do I rely on people? And at the time, I felt like, looking back at it, I felt like I was just being used at some points, and it was easy to sort of go behind your back. So the trustworthy in hospitality, especially with staff as well, if you're not there and their mates come in, how many what's getting paid for, what's not getting paid for. So
tricky balance, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I learned a lot from that.
And I think I spent a lot of time, obviously, running pubs as well. I did from 18 onwards. I was doing a Green King route into management. I think they called it passport to management or something like that in their managed houses for Green King, which led me to being 18 doing relief management at various pubs and stuff like that, which I think is pretty wild. Thinking back now, when you look at 18-year-olds and you think, could they actually manage a pub? How did I manage to do that? I don't even know really. Or how did they empower me to do that? But loads of learnings. It's a tough industry, isn't it?
Yeah,
no. Really, really tough industry.
Yeah, I think to be honest with you, Peter, I think if we, for an 18-year-old now, until I compare myself to probably even my daughter now, look at her, she's 14, then my wife was talking to some of her friends last night about it, and we were saying, well, when she was 14, she was at school, then she'd go and do a part-time job.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't get in late. She would get in late because she used to work at the bowling alley. Then she'd go to school the next day.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that happening now. I think it was instilled in us, especially from my parents as well. I think it's sort of the similar sort of parents you got from what you told me about your parents. It's like all instilled in us. It's like hard work. It's like hard work. And I think it's pretty much from my parents was like, Ian, you're not talented, but hard work will make you successful. Yeah. Pretty much. It was like, you spell fudge with your GCSEs, son. Come on. Hard work. You need hard work. Hard work will get you there. So yeah, and I think for us as in a younger age for that responsibility, I think it's helped us later on in life and stuff like that.
I think you're right. And I think hospitality particularly gives you a really good grounding in business itself. So understanding customer service, differentiation, what your USP is, those kinds of things, building relationships, ongoing long-term relationships.
Yeah. No, 100%. The same for retail as well. Working in retail for quite some time. That's where I met Alex in retail, and that's the one thing the what we always talk about, especially me and him, was like, because we've been in retail. The first thing we done when we went into this industry, when we done a little bit of research on the back of a fag packet, it was like it's customer service was the main thing. It was like because the web was still in 2013 was. People understood it was around, but it wasn't a valued item.
Sure.
The digital wasn't a valued item. It was just like, we knew this is about. There's noise about the web. So putting a value on it was very difficult. So where £350, you'd still get people going, that's a lot.
Really?
Yeah, you would. You're still going, that's a lot. And when we changed our pricing to the next year to 550, it was just. Yeah, it was crazy. People were like, Jesus, that's a lot of money. And I was like, well, okay. Because they can't physically have a value to it.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, with retail and customer service was the pillar stone of Geek. It's like, you've got to make clients happy.
Sure.
But then also, by the time you have to have that honest conversation with them going, I think the time's right. Probably go out both ways. The journey's come to an end now. Let's not drag it out and become hateful of each other. So yeah, I think that's what. So customer service, I think it's a bit like hospitality retail is a key thing. And obviously, if you can get your kids into it, into that it gives them a good stead.
Yeah, definitely. Life. I think like you were saying, I worked in hospitality from the age of 13. I remember pot washing in a fish restaurant on the A14 called the Trinity Foot. A few older listeners might remember that before it got knocked down for the A14 services at Swavesey. But I used to bike there for like a 6 o'clock. I was like 13, 14. I'd bike there, which was about 2 miles from my house, wash up 6 p.m. and sometimes not finish till like gone midnight on a Friday, Saturday, and then bike back, and I'd get paid cash. Decent money as well, really, when you think back then. So you're talking 22 years ago. No, more than that, 24 years ago. And I think I was doing, with tips, 30, 35 quid a shift for if it was 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, depending on how late it was, you know what I mean? Plus tips or whatever. The busier it was, the better the tips were. Yeah, it was all right, but you did have to like scrape fish scales off like these. They used to have these like metal grill plates, which they were a fish restaurant. So you'd have like Dover sole, that sort of stuff, trout, whatever it may be, and they'd go under the grill for them to cook the fish, and then it'd come to you, and literally it was like concrete fish guts on this like metal tray, and I'd be like that. We had two of us. I used to work with a guy called Dave Howard. And he used to take the, we used to decide one of us would take the dishwasher, which would be all the crockery, if that makes sense. And then the other one would have to do the actual sink itself, which was all the actual stuff that was coming out of the kitchen. And for whatever reason, I always picked, I don't know why, I always ended up doing the fish guts off the cooking trays. Yeah. But there we go. Such is life. But it's a good learning curve, right? Yeah. And then I was probably working in kitchens cooking from about 15, I think, on a Saturday. I remember working at the 3 Tons in Fen Drayton. I don't know if you'll have ever been there, but that was a nice Green King pub. And I used to help the chef, be like a kitchen hand sort of thing, getting stuff out and what have you. I remember one time, I don't even know that you get away with it anymore. I remember one time he made mashed potato, and it was literally, the mashed potato would be hotter than the sun. He'd have mashed it and he'd get a spoon of it, and I remember him flicking it on the back of my neck. And literally I had this like red boil on the back of my neck. And it's like, I can't really imagine that being allowed anymore for 15-year-olds. No. I didn't go crying to anyone either. I just was like, I was like, how do I get him back? And I think I nudged him. I think I deliberately nudged him one time when he had his hand in the oven. So he burnt himself or something like that. Yeah. But it was just all part of the banter.
Exactly. It's all resilience. I had the same sort of experience when I was younger, working in a warehouse on £2.20 an hour at that point. You look at it now, you're thinking, Jesus Christ, they got their money's worth out of me. And I had that with some of the older, that was in their early 20s at the time, sort of the older stuff. And I got my own back on them in my own way. I won't say on how I done it on here. I'll tell you how I done it.
Bit underhanded.
I will tell you how I done it when we finish recording. But yeah, it was. But you do. It's resilience, getting your way back. It's almost like, okay, I'm going to get mad. Yeah, it's banter, but it's also standing up for yourself and going, do you know what? Have a bit of resilience.
That is all part of it. I think you do have to learn to stand up for yourself, don't you? Yeah. Okay, so obviously about 12, 13 years ago, you started Geek Designs with Alex. When did you realise that this model, or when did the market evolve? I suppose market factors will have evolved from a £350 to £550 website to what it is now, which is built on the size and scope or complexity of a website. Tell me about that. Tell me about that journey and how your business had to evolve.
So essentially, with anything, it's knowledge. You're gaining your knowledge. We was new into the industry, so obviously, when you're new into the industry, with anyone, you still get it now with clients or potential clients or inquiries will come through, and we'll say, well, in the investment is the fuel for your projects. We need to distinguish what that is to be able to go, well, here you go. This is what we'll be able to do. You already know our day rates on the website. So you already know that's already out of the way with. You know what we're working with. So when we was going through the journey, it's finding that value. So we'd often be working our socks off. I remember our first SEO client, after a few years of studying SEO and understanding SEO and really drilling down into it. remember I got my first client on for SEO, and it was 20 quid a month.
I want that price.
so it was, and because I was like,
And what were you doing for 20 quid a month?
a lot. This is the thing. I look back at it now, and they used to moan. They go, "Yeah, but I'm not quite position one, are you?" I'm just like, "But you're on page one." I was like, "That's what I've got."
20 quid a month for page one.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So it was like with anything, because we was learning. I'm always the character. I'm always questioning myself. Am I good at what I do? And I think sometimes that helps with questioning, because I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly trying to evolve and learn and get better. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I've gone off a bit off the topic there. But yeah, I was 20 quid a month, and I was just like, and it was just constantly evolving and learning. So when the prices started going up, it's because we started to learn and develop. It's the same with Alex. Mm-hmm. New technologies were coming out. We were having to learn, having to adapt, taking on staff. It's like with anything. As soon as your overheads go up, that's when your value becomes more. Mm-hmm. Obviously, with experience, learning, overheads, expertise, employing them, because some people just don't want to run a business. Sure. Can I web develop? No. When my developers talk to me, do I understand what they're saying? Sort of. Sure. When they really start talking to me, I'm just like, I haven't got a clue what to say. And Alex laughs at me. He'll just like goes, "Why are you talking to him like that? He hasn't got a clue what you're saying." Yeah. I get what you're doing. That's fine. So he's bringing expertise in. Mm-hmm. So with those expertise coming in, it's finding your value and where you are. And sometimes you don't need to. I always found it's like we've never really chased a project. Mm-hmm. We've always asked the client. We're trying to say, what's the investment? What are you looking to fuel? What do you expect from that? Because some rightly so, it's more of because they can't see the value, that it's more of a cost exercise from guys. I need a digital presence for the cheapest price possible. Okay, cool. What are you expecting from that? It's like going to buy a car. Yeah. I want the cheapest car possible. Great, because we can understand the value of a car, because we can touch and feel and drive. We look at it and go, if I got a £500 car and it lasts me for a year, I've done well, right? Yeah. If it gets through its MOT, I've done well, right? Mm-hmm. If you buy a £25,000 car, you expect performance, comfort, luxury. You expect it to last for quite some time. You know, to fly through its servicing and everything like that. So the expectation, the value. So that's why we often say to the client, it's like, "Oh, okay, what's your expectation from your investment?" Just so we know, because we want to be transparent, right? Yeah. In the beginning, and that's where we've come up through the business is having expertise on it, being very transparent, making sure that we align with our clients' expectations as well. And sometimes it helps with a client, I'm sure in your business as well, where we'll come and go, "I just need it fixing, can you fix it for me?" Okay, so we can fix the problem, then what? What's the expectation after that? For us to go away and that's it, or is to work together to achieve something great?
Yeah, okay. So just for the benefit of the listeners, there's quite a bit of complexity now in the marketing landscape and understanding how a website fits into that overall strategy. And there'll be people listening where a website's really important, and there'll be people listening where a website is more a case of it's there just to have some level of reassurance to clients that they're a proper business. So essentially a website is quite a broad thing, isn't it, for different businesses? So I understand that for some businesses, like their website is, you know, literally a marketplace. It's a shop. It's somewhere where people can transact. Yeah. So you've got a lot of levels of complexity there. But actually, for other people, it's almost like an online brochure. So it's much more straightforward. So just so you can, if you can explain sort of in a minute what SEO is and then what PPC and Google ads are, so that people really understand. So what is SEO?
So SEO, search engine optimization. Essentially what you're doing is telling Google what you do and where you do it.
Okay.
So it's just making... I spoke to you earlier, I'm going to do a talk about SEOs, but are we optimizing for algorithms or for people? And that's a key thing, but we won't go into that right now. Pay-per-click is obviously your pay-per-click. So essentially,
So that's like Google Ads.
Google
That's where you're
Ads,
paying to be sponsored.
Yeah. So you're up in the top of the Google Ads, and you're obviously bidding and competing against your competitors to be seen. Google Ads is a fierce landscape. Cost per clicks has gone up massively. Like I say to my clients, if you're not being seen with SEO, you need to pay to be seen. And yes, it is an investment, and we're giving Google money, but essentially there are a business as well that needs to make money itself for this to work. So yeah, it's a great tool, Google Ads, but it's one of those investments that users on the internet won't just look at you and commit straight away. They're going to look at 5 or 6 other people. Just think about how you use the internet. If you're looking to buy something, do you land on the first page and go, I'm going to buy that? Or do you research?
Yeah.
Before we make a purchasing decision, we want to research to make sure it feels right.
Yeah,
it's the right person. So yeah, pay-per-click, SEO.
And I've got a question. Does SEO really work?
Yeah. So SEO, this is again going back to what I was having a talk on Friday about, is we can optimize for an algorithm to come up on page 1. Great. But why? What are we expecting? Are we expecting to engage with the customer? And that's the main thing. That's what I always say to them. It's like, who we're optimizing for. We need to start thinking about people and why they're there. Why should they use your service? Again, it's not far based off what Simon Sinek for his book In Why. It's like when people come to you, they want to know the reason why, instead of just optimizing for an algorithm, which you can do both. Is to come up. So I'd always say to them, they'll go, I think we had one the other day who sort of ring up, so our inquiries are dried up. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, have we looked into why, or what's the thing? How's your industry working at the moment? What's the market like? And when they were talking, funny enough, what they wanted to be optimised for, it's a new thing that they've come up with.
Okay.
So I was like, you're on page 1 for everything, as we know, but obviously with what they're on page 1 for, I was like, maybe you need to start thinking about adding different sort of style of content to the site to engage with people more, to make them want to inquire. Okay. So yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one especially with AI at the moment. There's new bits come out, whispers from Google about AI pictures and content, how they're sort of going to
penalise.
Are they use the word penalise, but they just know it's not original content. Okay. It may look good, but they know it's not actually yours. So AI is great. AI is great. It's definitely a foundation. Yeah, but don't rely solely on it. Okay. Put your own tone into it. Else everybody's content's going to sound the same.
Yeah, got you. Yeah. And I guess that's the question for you, is that there's a lot of copywriters out there now for website where that industry is sort of struggling under the weight of AI and ChatGPT. How are your copywriters adapting to that? Are they using AI? What do they, how do they use it as a tool?
Yeah, so they use AI for sometimes research purposes. They'll use it as a base to start off with, so it's all about the prompt that they put in there. So it'll give them a base to work from, but a lot of the time it's just general research and tone themselves that they'll be able to then go in and complete the task, shall we say. Obviously, when AI first came out, ChatGPT came out, they were all over it. But what I then noticed when I started reading the content, I was like, yeah, guys, I can't really use this because it's not really that engaging. It's like, yeah, we're on page 1. Somebody's going to read it and go, they're all right. Then go on to the next one.
Yeah, it's kind of like word salad, isn't it? They're all sort of, it's got all the words in there, but none of it means anything to anyone. Yeah.
Somebody goes, why? No, I don't understand that. Yeah. I think our creative director wrote a fantastic LinkedIn newsletter the other day about content, about how content writing, how we've lost sort of the soul behind it. So understanding everything has to be done really quick now. We consume information just like that,
Sure.
without any thought behind it. So yeah, that was a really good piece that she wrote there, and it was sort of making you sort of thinking, well, yeah, content really is still important, because we still want to educate ourselves on a purchasing decision. Who do we want to work with? We still want to buy into that, where some of them that before we publish content, we give it to our client and say, look, have a read of it. What do you think to this? And some of them don't like the change in the style. And because they're experts in their industry, so they like to change the tone to their expertise, which sometimes that's fine, but that for somebody in your industry, they'll understand that. But somebody who wants your services go, I don't know, that's not the problem I've got at the moment. You're not talking to me at the moment. So they tend to look elsewhere. So yeah, it's SEO is becoming increasing. It'll always be about SEO. Is always going to be, as long as there's a search engine, SEO is always going to be about.
Hi, I'm Pete Rushmer, coach, speaker and author. I'm delighted you're listening to today's podcast. If you want to take your personal development that step further, I offer one-to-one coaching as well as a mastermind group for business leaders and owners just like you. If you want to find out more, check out this bit now. Hi, my name's Pete, and I want to thank you for tuning into today's podcast. I'm a coach, speaker and author. And if you want to take your personal development that bit further, did you know that I offer a mastermind program as well as one-to-one coaching? If you're interested, please do reach out on peterushmer.com. So obviously SEO and websites form a larger part of what is marketing.
Yeah.
But increasingly, I would say it's playing, as things move digitally, increasingly we're seeing levels of investment not seen before in websites and that kind of stuff, as well as the ongoing SEO and Google ad work. So I'm going to ask probably quite a vague question, but I'd like an opinionated answer. If I've got, I run a business, what percentage of my turnover should I be reinvesting in marketing, and what percentage of that marketing budget should be on the website?
Yeah, vague. Pretty vague.
But it helps people.
Turnover?
It helps people understand. It helps people understand. Obviously, for different businesses, there are different spends on websites.
Yeah, no, 100%. But again, this is where we go into a discovery with them. Go, well, what does your business look like here? What does it look like here? Now let's work back to where we are now. So the level of investment, and often a lot of when we're having meetings, we'll often say to clients about phases.
Okay.
Because we're going to go, well, you know, your website needs to be here, but I know that's a big leap there for you to get there. So let's talk about phases.
Yep. So you sort of phase getting to that point.
Go, we know you haven't updated your website in 8 years, which is really bad.
Okay.
Because you're stagnant for 8 years now. So the returning people are just seeing you stagnated. So it can often put people off. There's nothing new happening. So we look at that and go, well, let's update your website first. Then what do you want to do?
Okay.
Then what's the next phase? So often we say this, you can invest anything from 8%, 10% of your turnover. You can go crazy like Apple and do 30%.
Is that what Apple do, 30%?
Yeah, I think that was a few years ago.
Okay.
They were doing 30%.
But that was a stat at some point, was it? That's wild.
Yeah, that was a stat at some point. It's like 30% of their turnover they put into marketing.
Wow.
But then Tesla don't. Well, they seem to sell their cars quite well, don't they?
Yeah, of course. Okay.
So it's what you do, who you're going after, and it's also about their business as well. Where there's so many factors into the point, because how much is the website? Nobody knows.
Yeah,
nobody knows, because it's how much do you want to invest in?
They're not 350 quid anymore.
If everybody can reduce their wages, then yeah, I'm all happy for that. And the national insurance, if that can come, that'd be great. So yeah, but no. So it's one of those. So that's where you have to have a conversation, and because in our industry, it's so fluctuating. You'll have a freelancer who will do it for 500 quid.
Yeah, got you.
But you can't ring up a freelancer and walk into their house and go, can we have a meeting? I've got this problem. They're not picking up the phone to me. Where in an agency, it's a fixed place. They've got people there. If you haven't got one expert, you know you're going to get an answer. You're going to get an answer somewhere.
Sure.
You're going to get an answer somewhere to an query. So yeah, I can't. Sorry, mate, I've gone off again. I can't remember.
No, that's all right. So the question was about the percentage on marketing, and then the percentage on a website was the question.
So often, I'll go back on that. So often, what we look, if in investment as a business, it's hard to give a percentage without obviously knowing.
Sure.
If we have a marketing budget,
yeah,
then we can then go back with forecasts and go, here's our expectation of what we deem as success. Does anybody know who you are yet? No. Okay, so people have got to be aware of who you are first. So you might need a little bit for brand awareness. What are you selling? Okay, then we go. So we can often foresee, like in Google, you can forecast. It'll give you a rough data of the previous year, and it'll give forecasts of what a conversion rate will look like and how much it's going to cost you for that opportunity. But then it comes back down to, again, if they're coming to your website, have you got all the information there? Are you answering the questions that are being asked of yourself? You're just saying, we do management, CPC transport. Yeah, the date's here. Great. What does that look like? Yeah, what does that look like? You know, and obviously it's very detailed on your page there. There's a lot of content there for people to consume if they wish, but it's there.
Yes.
It's there, right?
Okay.
So with some, it's just like, here's a price, here's a date. Do you want it or not? Okay, what's involved? So it's a difficult conversation sometimes to have because they don't know.
Okay.
But we can get to a point of where we recommend, and often we recommend is quite, it's not too low that you're just marketing just for the sake of it. It's that happy in between. It's not going to stretch you. It's there. You know it's working. Then we can increase incrementally when success is starting to perform, when we can see it. Okay. So it's
okay. So I've got a question then. I've got a couple of questions. One's about website designers and the warning signs of that you need to change your website designer. So there's one that I need you to start thinking about. And then the other one is, what are the 3 key signs that your website needs updating?
The 3 key signs your website.
Yeah, 3 key signs. Give me 3 key signs that your website needs updating.
Well, I'd often say to you, if you're not updating your website and it's stayed the same for over 2 years, ask the question.
And when you say stay the same, no blogs or anything, or do you mean you've not?
It's not even the blogs; it's the style of it.
Okay,
it's the style of it.
So you think every 2 years you should be?
How often do you change your wardrobe or your clothes?
Probably more often than I should.
Right, but you're changing it.
Yeah.
Quite a lot, right? There's constant updates on there, and so it's the same with a website. It's just like, make change to it. Don't leave it for so long. It's, again, we'll have clients come up and go, "Oh, I've got to get my website done." It was quite funny. We had a recent client went away from us and come back to us, but we built their original site. They went to a freelancer, essentially copied what we'd done, which is fine.
Yeah,
I think he was helping a mate out actually. Got it done, and he's come back to us and he goes, "Oh yeah, God." I said, "Well, your website's going to cost this now," and he's like, "Bloody hell!" And I was like, "Yeah, but you come to us 8 years ago, by the way." Yeah. And I was like, and he was like, "Yeah, geez." And I was like, "You've had that website for 8 years, yeah." And I was like, "How much that cost you?" And he told me, and I went, "Do you think you got your money's worth?" And he went, "Yeah." And I was like, "Right." But he's left it so long that now the competition look so much better than him, much more appealing. Even though he's good at what he does, it doesn't reflect that. Okay. And does your website reflect your business? Does it reflect the consumer now on the way they search for content or they want to receive content? Okay. Does it? If not, there's your warning sign.
Tip 1 then, 2 years. Was there the second tip in there about it reflecting?
Does it reflect your business? Yeah, essentially.
Does it actually reflect what you want a customer to experience and what your business is?
Case studies are a great thing. Case studies are a great thing. Not just having pictures, having a story. Yeah, we love to read a story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And have you got the most up-to-date case studies on there? Does it reflect your bit? Does it look good?
Yeah.
Does it look good? Again, had an inquiry yesterday. I need to bring it up to 2025. So I don't know what 2025 looks like, but okay. But it's like, yeah, but all my case studies are really old and it doesn't reflect. I was like, right, gotcha. I was like, you've moved on massively. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it needs to reflect that. But for what people see online is you 8 years ago.
Okay, cool. So tip 1, have you updated it in 2 years? 2, have a really stern look at it and go, is this really reflecting us, the case studies, the work we've been doing over the past couple of years? You know, is it really how we want to portray ourselves to the customer? Yeah. Okay, 3rd tip.
Well, just a quick back on that one.
Yeah.
COVID accelerated the industry by about 10 years.
Okay.
Because everybody moved online.
Yeah, sure.
So if you've not really moved on from that quick knee-jerk reaction from COVID, maybe then can look at your site.
Okay.
Just have a look at it. It might only need a tweak. You might not need a full-on redesign, but just take a look at it from that. But the way we consume content's like accelerated massively since COVID. Next tip. Yeah. I think the other one was about design as well. Wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So explain that.
So designers. What's the original question? I've got to be careful because I've got them working for me. Okay. But I always tell them this anyway.
Yeah. So the top 3 tips for when you need to change your website or update your website. So one was 2 years. Yeah. And the other was to make sure it properly reflects your business. Yeah. So your 3rd one is around design.
Yeah. So the 3rd one's around design. Yeah. So again, when it comes to design, it's very much it's sometimes difficult for us because depending on who they are, they can become very emotionally attached to their brand. And we're an agency with opinions.
Yep.
As you know. And we will give our opinion, but we'll also back up the opinion why we've given that opinion and why it's the best thing for you. Mm-hmm. If the client really, really wants what they desire, then yeah, of course we'll give it to them. But it was understand by you making this decision, remember that's your decision, and we're noting that down. Yeah. Because often it comes with, I want a new website and I want performance. And we go, well, by doing this, it's going to change the performance. Okay. So try not to be emotionally attached to it, and which is really difficult. It's like you're paying an expert, somebody who comes to you, they're paying for your expertise, right? So sometimes listen to them. Listen to the designer to a degree, because they're very emotional people as well with their design work. They're very much attached to it like an artist. So, yeah.
And I imagine that therein lies a bit of a tricky thing, right? Because generally business owners are quite emotionally attached to their business and often the brand. And then you've got designers who are also then attached to their suggestions.
So, yeah, exactly. And I practice what I preach because when we were going through a rebrand, we all the staff sat around the meeting table. They started talking about it. And the first thing I said was like, whatever you do, I'm more than likely going to hate it.
Sure.
I'm more than likely going to hate it. I was like, just to let you know.
And did you?
Well, I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I suppose that's part of your warning process for business owners and new clients, isn't it? It's going, we're going to change it and you're probably not going to like it at first. It's a bit like, I tell you what, I imagine it's a bit like, I was looking at it the other day. Mags and I are watching a TV series online, and Merck are really on it, on the advertising, right? So Merck are busy advertising away, and they've had a bit of a facelift of all their models. And I look at them and go, I don't like it. And have you ever seen that? You know, when a manufacturer brings out a new model of like an old vehicle, so for example, they brought out the new C-Class, new E-Class, and you look at it and go, that looked better before. But you actually end up getting used to the new model, and then you end up preferring it. It's a really strange process your brain goes through, isn't it, as it becomes more familiar with something, and actually something that was once ugly or that you were like, I preferred the old version, it soon gets used to it. I don't know what that's even called psychologically, but there is a process that your brain goes through.
I know, 100%. And I've gone exactly through that, and I'm like, yeah, actually, I do like it now.
Yeah.
Because I think it's one of those. It's like, because it's your business, people are thinking about it, they're talking about it, they're having their own opinion on it. And it was only till I think one of my clients I work with really closely, they're fantastic, and they go, do you know what? You guys, I love your rebrand. It looks really good. I'm like, does it? And they go, yeah, no, it looks really good. He goes, do you know what? The content I can read, it's so much clearer. I can read everything now.
Nice.
It was just like, don't be scared of white space. So I was like, oh, okay. So then after a while, I'm looking at it and going, oh yeah, do you know what? Yeah, I do like it.
Grown on you.
It just takes time because we're emotionally attached to it.
Okay.
Myself and Alex, obviously, over the years, when our website's always the hardest thing to do, and because we're going through an actually redesign now of our own website, and it's one of that we've both pretty much gone, we're going to step back, and do you know what? We employ people. Let's let them do that.
Okay.
Let's see what can happen with that. Let's trust it and see what can happen, which is difficult. We always keep an eye on it, going, okay, they need pulling back in line here. But yeah, and that's the same thing with people's own websites. Sometimes, like with anything, what you think looks good, your potential customers don't actually engage with it. So it's one of those things. It's like constantly developing.
It's probably one of the key things that I've learned over time is that it isn't really about me or my perception of the website. It's about what's my prospective customer or client going to look at and think and see and learn and do on the website, and it's most important actually their perception of it rather than what mine is, which is also very interesting. So the next question was around what are the risk factors with the web design companies that people are watching that they're currently dealing with. What is the sort of stuff that you find web designers telling people that you're like, you're not really giving the right advice there? What's the sort of signs of needing to change web designer?
Everything's down to communication, really. What people's opinions are, they are. I never really went even in a meeting. 9 times out of 10, when you're having a meeting with somebody, there's an aligned problem because they've not gone back to their original company. Now because they're not keeping in communication with them. They're not saying, have you ever thought of trying X and Y? You've been stagnant for a while now. So it is. I wouldn't really say if there is a problem, but you have that feeling. You go, are they offering me, or have we gone to the next step now? Can they offer that? Can they do that?
Yeah.
And that's often we tend to. It's not so much where I think we're shifted as a business slightly. Where new businesses come to us, we'll facilitate that. Again, it's with the investment. Go, what's the expectation of the investment? Yeah, here we go. This is what we can do. But it's more on I call it the second cycle, where they've had a website and they know now, they understand the value of a website and they need to. So they might have gone to a freelance and now sort of go, oh, but we offer online courses. Can you? We want to build an online course system where they can come in and they can do all the tests online. We want it built ourselves so we control it, not have it off the shelf.
Sure.
So that's with the second cycle. I can't really say or talk on behalf why they should. Okay. You will know. They've not spoke to me in a few years. I've not really been in communication or happy with their service, or if I am working with them, I'm asking to do something and it's taking 2 or 3 weeks, then obviously depending on what if it's a small change, like, oh, can you just change this? And it takes like a small little text thing and it takes weeks, then there are warning signs there.
Okay.
Because you need to have control over it.
Okay. And I think the next question then is around, if people are watching and they're uncertain about their website and what to do, what is the next steps for them really? Like what should they be asking? What should they be doing? what are you seeing people coming to you guys for when people are looking at their websites? What are the key things?
So often when people come to our website, they're looking to. It's always engagement, because that's always the lack of it. It's just like we just don't seem to be getting. Or we have hundreds, thousands of visits a month, but that doesn't reflect the inquiries coming through. Okay, there is possibly it's an issue there. Let's have a look into what's happened. And 9 times they could go, it's worked for how you were 5 years ago.
Sure.
And it's moved on now. Let's start taking a look at the business. What are the core pushes of the business? Are we talking about that? Why are you doing this? What are you expecting from it? Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's taking into that process. It's really taking a real deep dive into that process of going, well, how does this information look on a website? Recently working with an accountancy firm, and obviously with the content there, it's very directed around accountancy talk.
Okay.
Where I was going, well, if anybody wants to move accountants, it's because they're not happy.
Yeah.
So we'll address that first.
Yeah. Let's get the jargon out and just make it.
Let's address where it's going to go. Aren't you happy with not getting reports, not getting this?
What are the push factors?
Push factors of what?
Mm-hmm. Lead on that.
Yeah, exactly. Lead on that. So they often look at this. So I go, do you find your website inspiring to you even?
Mm-hmm.
No. So how are your potential clients going to be? Are you just talking for the sake of it?
Yeah. Because
some websites you'll go on there and go, I haven't got a clue what you do. Sure. And there's one thing in the office that myself and Harvey will do. This is a bit of just messing around. We'll go into some AI or ChatGPT and go, put the website and go, I'm a 9-year-old, explain what these do. Yeah. And we go, oh, right, that's what them big words mean. Like that. It's like, I ain't got a clue. Now I know what they do. So, yeah, it's one of those. It's like, if it's complex, then just simplify it.
Okay.
Simplify it. Yeah. And, there's a lot that's probably not answered your question.
Yeah.
But it's, really...
It's a tricky question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm on to my 3 key quick-fire questions that I ask all my guests. So the first one is, where do you go to develop yourself? And I'm going to ask that in 2 areas. I'm going to make it really clear.
Yeah.
One is the technical side of what you do, so keeping up to date with website, Google, the latest stuff there. And then the other is around your personal and professional development personally, if that makes sense, as a leader.
Yeah. So
go with technical first.
So technical, obviously online publications. Everybody can go on it. Search engine journals really good to find out what's going on in the industry and stuff like that. Obviously, they get little snippets from Google to sort of give you an idea of what's going on.
And just out of interest, I know I digress. This is another question, but it's interesting, and you'll know the answer. What percentage of people search on Google, and what percentage are using other search engines other than Google? Like, who's actually using anything other than Google?
So I'd always say to the client when they're advertising, if you're going to even advertise on Google, you should have Bing as well.
Oh, okay.
Right? So you're covering majority of the internet. So I'd always say that if you're dealing with businesses, they're locked in on Microsoft. So the company can control what you look and see and do and everything.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but if you're not advertising or being seen on Bing, there's a problem.
There's an opportunity. Yeah.
There's an opportunity there, definitely. So again, it depends on what industry and you're looking for and everything like that. If you're going into Google, the Google or Bing user has an intent, right? Yeah. If somebody's searching on YouTube, they're looking at how to fix it themselves.
Okay.
Yeah. Or having an idea of how to do it themselves. So percentage-wise, depending on what you're looking for, it's going to be like, statistically, and people moan about this, but I'd say it's you're in the high 70% of people are going to use Google and Bing to search the internet for exactly with intent, because that's the key thing. It's like, are we just browsing for just the sake of browsing? Are we the top of the funnel? Or are we going, when you're in Google looking for something, there's intent. You're there for a reason. Sure. So for me, the percentage is a lot higher there. But you can't match it to what somebody's like.
Sure. Okay.
I've got the flu. Okay. What do I need to self-medicate and stuff like that.
Okay, I'll go back to the original question because I digressed there because I'm ADHD. So the original question was around where you go to technically develop your expertise. So next question is, where do you go to develop your personal development?
Conflict of interest here. So I go to a mastermind group for personal self-development. I like listening to other people and other businesses. I like to sit there, not say much, listen, come in and offend people with my opinion. But yeah, so I go to a mastermind group to develop myself. Everybody has, I'm a firm believer in everybody has and knows the answer to their business. Everybody knows what they need to be doing. They just need that person on the shoulder just whispering into their ear. And when you're in a business owner and you're lonely at the top, then sometimes that's what you need. It's like myself with the technical side of things, like myself and my business partner, from day one, we knew our roles. And we don't speak about it because we know any technical aspect of the business, I know not to get involved with that. I know my lane on that. I'd leave that with Alex. Alex was upstairs with Chris a few weeks ago building some AI search thingy and everything like that. Again, that's not my technical ability, but I say, we've done this, and it's going to put we can build websites and and do all of this, and it should knock it down even further by another 30%. I was like, I don't know what 30% looks like, but it sounds really good. Oh yeah, by the way, you'll be able to use this now instead of ChatGPT or all this. I was like, okay, great. I'll let people know when you're ready. So the technical side of things, Alex deals with that. Business side of it, where I come to learn from it, it's like, yes, I'm a mastermind group. Reading. I try to read more now. Probably a bit later on in life because I used to hate reading. Okay. That just bores me. It bores me. I have to really be interested. But I think with self-development now for myself, that's where I'm at now.
Okay. What book are you reading at the moment?
It's what's the new one? Dr. Chastri's new.
How to Make Change That Lasts.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a good book.
I literally put that in my work bag yesterday.
Yeah, okay.
I literally put that in my work bag yesterday.
Good book.
And I started to go into that. I brought it a few weeks ago, but now's the
So I'm currently re-listening to The 4-Pillar Plan by Dr. Chatterjee. Dr. Chatterjee, who also wrote How to Make Change That Lasts. So I recommend anyone that will listen to The 4-Pillar Plan. And I was like, I've probably not listened to it for a couple of years, so it's probably a good chance to re-listen to it. And it was just the stat at the beginning of it. So Dr. Chatterjee is a former he probably still is a GP, but a former practicing GP who is absolutely adamant that 90% of all mental health related illnesses can be improved without medication by following the 4-Pillar Plan. Yeah. Incredible, isn't it?
Incredible.
Yeah. Incredible statistic.
And the way he explains it in his book, I believe it.
Yeah, I do.
I
too.
really believe
it
as well. I really believe it.
Yeah, he's not saying that those mental health issues don't need medication, but what he's saying is the conditions and symptoms can be improved. Yeah. And the point he's saying is that depression, for example, is a group of symptoms that as a society we put together to call depression. And when you break down those symptoms, each one of them can be positively impacted by following the 4-Pillar Plan. Yeah. Does that and the way he breaks it down is just, it's so intelligent.
It's 100%. I think I agree that it's off a topic here, but my wife, when she went to the doctors and they went, "Oh, you're depressed?" She went, "Well, I gave her antidepressant pills," and she's like, she come home, she went, "So what they give me?" And I was like, "Okay." She goes, "I'm not."
Yeah,
I'm not. And she's like, and like we obviously just talking when we spoke about it, we knew what the problem was anyway.
Yeah, okay.
We knew what the problem, but it was quick to go, here's medication, go away.
Yeah.
That's frightening.
Yeah, it is.
That's frightening, right? That's frightening. I was just reading that book as well. I might listen to it. Well, read this one, listen to that one again. Just by me making that, I read that book and it actually changed a lot for me. A lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just just by making a few of those changes, I was sort of a couple of stones.
And I think that's what's interesting is he is saying that you know, the books there, you may need medication. He's saying he's not saying this won't stop you from needing it if you need it, but there's a load of stuff you can do that's in your power to improve your symptoms. That you have, which I think's really powerful, isn't it, to empower people in that way. So of the other the other two questions that are left, one of them was, what was the advice that you give to your younger self? What advice would you give yourself, knowing what you know now as a 40-something-year-old?
40-something, yeah. I was thinking that this morning, closer to 60 than I am 20.
Mate, that's depressing.
I was like, Jesus. It's a tough one because when I'm very much, I look back on the things I've done then, though, but very much to the younger members of staff now. Lucy had just started. I was like, read that book.
Okay. Which book?
That was the Marcus Sheridan book.
Okay. Oh, they ask you answer.
I said, just read that. And I was like, then we're going to have a chat.
Yeah, okay.
Then I was like, then the next book she's got is Simon Sinek Why. I was like, read that. Development. That's the key thing. The key thing. What I know now, if I started educating myself with business and mindset and self-development at an earlier age, I'd always think, where would I be right now? What would I have? What would I have become? Okay. So what mistakes would I have not made? What I've been not naive to. So so I think it's just, I would always say to the young people, it's like educate yourself, and not by getting in the cesspool of social media and just in stories and just watching videos and getting sold the dream. Just like doesn't really come true.
I think you're absolutely right there. There's some really valuable stuff where you need to move yourself away from being a consumer. So essentially social media turns us into this consumption monster where we just consume stuff all the time. And essentially if anything's free, suddenly you're the product, right? You know, you're the product that is selling your data. And by reading a book or by you're then becoming an investor in yourself. And that mindset's really important. Excellent. So, Ian, final question for you. What are your 3 tips for success?
Jesus Christ. Not him. Right, 3 tips for success.
It's a mouthful.
It is. It's hard work.
Hard work?
Yeah. It's hard work. Resilience. Yeah. Often people put you down, but you keep going.
Yeah.
And it's educating. It's constantly developing yourself.
Self-development.
Self-development constantly. That's the biggest thing. I would say if I had to regret so far, it's the biggest thing I'd regret. Is that self-development on myself. On myself.
Yeah. Hard work, resilience, and focusing on your own self-development.
Yeah, massively. I think that's key. If that's more for yourself, they're the key pillars for me at the moment. If I focus on that, and then early retirement on the golf course.
Amazing. Cool. Okay, mate. Ian, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for joining me for Take 2 on the podcast. And
completely different conversation.
And I think, but even better, an even better conversation. So thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for listening, listeners. Much appreciate if you're watching on YouTube or you're listening. Please do make sure you subscribe to the podcast to make sure that you get the updates when they come. Ian, thanks again. Really appreciate it. Take care. See you soon.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining us on today's It's Not So Lonely at the Top podcast. We really hope you've enjoyed today's podcast. I'm absolutely delighted that you took the time to listen, and I really hope that you'll subscribe to ensure that you receive future episodes too. If you want to find out any more, please do search It's Not So Lonely at the Top podcast, and you'll find it on your favourite podcast app. Thank you.